have the budget, as it's all been presented to us, move to the next board meeting consent agenda, if everyone's agreeable with that. Yay, nay?
So moved. Yay.
Yeah, well, there's no,
No quorum, eh?
yeah, there's no quorum, so we'll just do that.
It's just an understanding, not really a formal motion, Director.
Yeah, there's no motion to do that, we'll just, make it happen. Since there's no quorum, I'll go ahead and, we'll just not have the meeting, finance committee meeting, and move on to the next one, where the, executive director will make her comments, and the chief financial officer can make his comments, if you wish.
You wanna,
In the next-
for the finance? Are we moving to finance?
We're not gonna have the finance meeting since we don't have a quorum.
Okay,
And with that, we'll move the resolution for the
all resolutions to consent.
master solutions and the budget to the board as a whole at the next meeting in September.
To non-consent.
Let's call to order the planning and program development meeting Thursday, August 2025. We get roll call.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Director Flegel. Director Emmons. Present. Committee Chair Smith.
Present.
Committee Chair, you do have a quorum.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second. With that, all in favor, say aye. Aye. We need a move for the approval of the minutes from July 24, 2025. A motion.
So moved.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Let's go right into the executive director's report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So just a few things on the planning side. We are, completing our agreement with the city of Birmingham, and I think it goes to budget and finance on September the 8th. And, in that agreement, you'll have two, or a couple of, requirements that we have. And one is to complete the strategic plan, which I'm doing next week. So I will, be working on that slowly myself next week with big communications to get that completed so we can get that in print before the October, new fiscal year, and to complete that requirement as part of the city of Birmingham's contract. And also the mobile app is included in the, contract, and we'll have that completed, and ready to launch and implement in November. So we expect that, to go through budget and finance and the city council and have a contract completed before our new fiscal year. Director Emmett is helping us very closely with that and moving that through the city for us. Also, the VIA transition is gonna be coming over with that with the city of Birmingham. And they're gonna be transitioning that over in September. The contract ends the end of September, so Michelle, we thought, Director Emmett, we thought because, the contract ends, there is no further action required from the city of Birmingham because they won't have a contract. So we're in the process now of working with VIA to incorporate and put together a contract before, the end of the one with the city of Birmingham, so we can continue services. Because the budget was already approved as part of the, city of Birmingham's budget to us. And, then, I think we have one other capital project, procurement that went out, and that was for the the ERP system, the enterprise system that we're looking at, that we talked about in the board workshop. So other than that, planning seems to be working out pretty good. You'll hear from the reports today. Nick is going to show you our new dashboard that you'll have on your SharePoint drive. So please, please, go to your SharePoint when you have a question, or you want to see the status of a capital program, or the status of the 70-30 plan, all of that is going to be being uploaded to your SharePoint, your board SharePoint site. And when Nick shows his dashboard example to you, this is just one example of the many wonderful data analysis dashboards that you'll be able to see. And for this one, it's gonna be microtransit, BRT, and fixed route, and you'll be able to see ridership and on-time performance in real time. So we keep that updated, and this at your fingertips is information that you'll have. So if someone has a question, and you can even look at it by district. So this is huge because it shows the progress, the technology progress and innovation that we're doing around data analysis. And you'll get to see for yourself what these programs are doing. So this is unusual to have this kind of site where the board can go and get real-time information. So Nick is gonna show you that doing the planning reports. And Martangi is preparing to have the TOD policy ready for you as well. Thank you.
All right, we have a capital and planning update.
Good morning, Chair Smith, Director Inman, and other board members, and other guests in the audience. As our executive director has stated a little bit earlier, will be giving you all a copy real quickly of the draft TOD policy. And what we're looking to do, as you know, next month we're looking to have a TOD workshop with the board to kind of go through this TOD policy as well as the guidelines. On your board SharePoint site, both of these draft policies as well as the guidelines are there, which means we're looking to bring this to the full board for the next committee meeting, which is set for September 18th, with a board approval for this policy in October. So you have an opportunity to read through the policy and provide any feedback that you would like for the policy. As capital projects are definitely moving, our mobile app and our website redesign is actively moving forward. The team is working weekly with our selected vendor for these two projects, as well as the new ERP that has went on the streets effective as of last Friday. So thanks to our CEO, our procurement team, and my capital program project manager, Jennifer, they made this a success to get this out on the streets. As Director Shaw mentioned, Mr. Nicholas Tidy will come up and give the board a dashboard review of what we're doing with the 70-30 program as it relates to ridership and so forth. All of the project schedules for everything that we do, mobile app, website redesign, ERP, TOD, all of those things are on your board SharePoint site. If you all have any questions about how to navigate those things, you can get Ms. Rhonda Nolan, and she can walk you through where to find that information. If there's any questions, I entertain those now. All right, thank you.
He comes up with, not that. Under information and discussion. Department.
Do we have any other department reports?
Yes, we do.
Good morning.
Good morning.
No, it's good. Good morning, board of directors. Good morning, Director Shaw. I'm just going to quickly, as always, share my screen so we can have a look at a dashboard that Director Shaw mentioned that we're able to track ridership and other metrics for our entire services we offer, our fixed route BRT and microtransit and paratransit. So here we can see, first starting off with fixed route and BRT. All the dashboard pages have a similar structure where we have the top banner which shows key metrics of that service that we provide. So when we're looking at fixed route and BRT, we can see we have number of routes, 15, number of stops in the service area, 1,072, on-time performance for the most recent month of July of 64%, fixed route year-on-year growth of 0.5%, and BRT year-on-year growth of 17.7%. Looking at the first row of charts, this is the 12-month rolling ridership that I would typically report on. And this is an example would be July 2025, is ridership from August 2024 through July 2025. And this first chart is for fixed route and BRT together. Second is BRT separately. Next row is just ridership by month. So you can see just ridership by month for each mode, again split by fixed route and BRT separately. Finally, we have on-time performance monthly, and this is split out for the blue line, which is fixed route, and BRT, which is the orange line, and we see an improvement in on-time performance as of May, which was at the beginning of those changes that we made on May 19th. We also have missed trips, which is again done monthly, and again we've seen missed trips as a percentage decrease, which is a positive because it means we are maintaining a good service coverage as a result of those May 19th changes. What is useful about this dashboard is you're able to filter based on city location, and this will affect what metrics appear. So for example, I've selected Bessemer here, and as we're aware, the BRT does not go through Bessemer, so we have no data in the BRT section, and BRT year-on-year growth will go to -100% because the route does not go through Bessemer. But what we see is Bessemer has 2 routes with 102 stops with an on-time performance of 70%, with a year-on-year growth rate of 2.7% for fixed route ridership. And the on-time performance also changed based on that selection. One thing of note is the missed trips will not change based on city selection or district selection because the trips expand beyond borders. So when you select this metric will not change. However, it will change when I select on route. So I select route 1, for example, we see the missed trips does change. And so this is effectively live data that you're able to see on a month-by-month basis, and this data will be updated.
And excuse me one second, Nick, and what this does, especially the month by month, it helps us to track trends. So if we see a dip in one month, we can try to find out, or we not try to find out, we can understand or look to understand what that dip means. Right? Why is it low in one month and higher in another month? But overall, is it growing? But it helps us connect to issues and challenges that we may have or changes we may need to make to the 70-30 plan depending on the area. But it helps us kind of gather data to see the trend of the service. And right now you can see from the city of Birmingham an overall trend. We're trending pretty good. And then we look at each individual area and see what we might have to change, like Bessemer. Right? So there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of stuff to gather. But we can even look at it, and Nick will show you what happens when we look at it by district. So we get an interest, and this is only for you, and this is on your SharePoint drive. There will be another dashboard that we share with each municipality that won't have all the detail that you're getting. But we want you completely aware of all the municipalities and all the service, whereas Homewood would not be as interested in the city of Birmingham's service and vice versa for the other municipalities. So you get to see the entire dashboard. Okay, so this is a lot of information to take in, so what we suggest is that you play with it a little bit, and if you have additional questions or need time to help us go through that information with you, that you sit with Nick and myself, and we can go through further details with you to help you understand this dashboard. You want to show them the districts?
Yes, certainly. So final filter is district into this list, we'll see that the top one is blank. So when you select this, this is every municipality other than City of Birmingham. But if we select District 1, again, ridership and the metrics will change specific to that district. And so you're able to look at district by district, the performance of our services in that area. Any questions? Oh, apologies, yes.
Couple questions. So you say this will be available on SharePoint, or is it available now?
It should be on your SharePoint now. Do you not see it?
Well,
On your board SharePoint.
anyway, my second question, I'll check later. My second question is, for the county perspective, are you gonna make this whole presentation available to someone at the county?
That's something we hadn't thought about. We can think about that. It's probably a good idea.
I mean, the county needs to have the overall view, I think, rather than just specific.
Well, you know, again, customer-facing dashboards, we're talking about that now, what that would look like for them. Because this is a lot of detail and a lot of information. We prefer to summarize it for those municipalities and counties.
Right.
Right? Because we don't want to give them too much, where they dig too deep and not understand it. We give it to you all so you'll have it as information for your repertoire.
Right, but my thinking is, you know, the county gives, what, $4 million a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there should be someone there who's interested in how that money, should be interested in the results of that spending.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that later, but just a thought.
And I think that's what we're trying to do for all the municipalities in the county. It just won't be at the same level of information that you get. We'd rather summarize it. We're talking about that now to think about what that looks like for them, without giving too much detail.
Right, but those county commissioners represent various cities also in the whole of the county.
Yeah, they'll get some form, and we'll talk about that more, but it may not be just at the level that you all are getting as board members. But they'll get this information. It may just be in a summarized format.
I have two questions. My first question is, what are we doing to improve our on-time percentage?
So to improve our on-time performance, so this was as a result of some of the May 19 changes that we made, which was to the schedule. We noticed a number of issues related to traffic and trains, which often do affect on-time performance. So we just adjust our schedule to reflect that. We are actively looking at other routes because we only have made changes to a few in May. And so as the 730 plan rolls out, we are looking at that specifically. How can we improve on-time performance across all of our routes?
And don't forget that that's why we're cautious to how we give this information out, because people equate on-time performance with an issue with BJCTA, and that's not always the case. That's why I'm very careful with that KPI. While we track on-time performance, it is not the only indicator of how we're doing, because sometimes that on-time performance is not due to our negligence. Sometimes it's due to a construction. It can be a construction change or detour that causes our on-time performance issues. It could be FMLA. It could be a vacation because of the work shortage that we all experience in the industry. So there are various reasons why on-time performance may drop, but overall is the service consistent and frequent, and that's what this shows.
One more question is, when we have a construction issue, can we take that item out of the on-time?
No, you can't take it out because we have time points. And if you are delayed by construction, we can't take that out as an outlier. It's still going to report the performance of that bus, the on-time performance of that bus. And that's why we as an industry try to educate people, and that's why we're educating our board members to understand what on-time performance could be. It's not always an issue because of the agency. It has a lot to do with what's happening in the city.
My last question. We've been talking about expanding to other cities. Are we looking into that issue any?
Expand what?
Bus service or microtransit?
Well, that's what we're doing with the 730 plan. That's what we And again, that 70-30 plan and that implementation is in your SharePoint, it's on your SharePoint site. So we got 3 other changes coming up in October. We can't make all the changes at once because that'd be too expensive, right? That would blow our budget. So we have to make the changes and reallocate dollars as we can to microtransit, which means that we're only gonna have so much money to reallocate once we make the changes to the fixed route services. But that's scheduled out until 27 to make those changes about 3 times a year. So we have some small changes coming up in October, but they're not including any additional microtransit for October. Now in January, we're looking for another big change, and hopefully then we'll be adding another microtransit zone. But if you ever wanna see what that schedule looks like, always refer to your SharePoint drive, and that presentation is actually on SharePoint, on the board SharePoint drive.
So a market like Trustful or something like that, which might need microtransit, we're not looking into that.
Right now, we have no plans to expand in the trust bill.
All right, those are my questions. Any other questions?
I do have a small question. So when you're talking about the on-time performance and you were mentioning the different conditions that impacts it, especially with construction, because I think that would be probably like a long-term, probably impactor. Is there any way that the technology will allow you to put like an indicator in there for that particular route? Maybe construction could cause delays or something like that?
Well, I'm not sure that's something we can pull out and avail, is it? Separately, or is it?
No, we could look into that as making it an outlier, like we got 6-month construction and try to make it an outlier, but we will speak with Avail and see if we can pull that out, but they haven't given us any capabilities or indication that Avail is able to do that at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Usually, you know, if there's construction, you can see, and it'll show the on-time performance, and what we may be able to do is track when those construction delays happen and track that. But again, on-time performance could be other factors too, right? Like FMLA or workforce shortages, which is what we're experiencing. But we're trying to, and ours is growing. Ours is getting better. So we do know that we have some issues too that we working out, which is why we're doing the 70-30 plan. Because now that the 70-30 plan is being implemented, we are seeing on-time performance go up and driver overtime go down. So we should start to see the trend. This is why we're showing you these graphs. But you should start to see the trend for on-time performance goes up unless there is an outlier, and we'll bring that to your attention when that happens, which is why we're showing you these trends. And so what we can do probably is address those when we see them in the month, because you're gonna see this now every month. So when we see a dip in that month, at least now we'll be able to explain what that is.
Okay. Any more questions? Seeing none, thank you. Any more department reports?
Can we include everything?
Oh, you good?
Yeah, apologies, there's a couple more pages that we can go through quickly. So we also have metrics for microtransit. So again, a very similar style dashboard where we have key metrics at the top. That 12-month rolling ridership, I think we show July ridership by vendor split, so between VIA and MAX. Met demand rate, this is a metric that are we able to offer you a ride within 30 minutes, yes or no? And so for the month of July, 89% yes, 89% of the time we're able to offer you a ride within 30 minutes. Monthly ridership, again, self-explanatory. And then zone, again, you're able to filter to a specific zone and see the performance metrics for that zone. For example, if I go to the East Zone, all the data will shift and change. Finally, we also have paratransit. So you can again see metrics on that. So we have a similar top rolling ridership, monthly ridership, and then unique to paratransit is measured off percent of trip that ends in the same city. So we see 72% of our trips end in the same city, and then if they do not, where do they end? So again, if I select Bessemer, oh sorry, slight estimate, we see that 85% of their trips do not end in the same city, and so you can look over here and see where do those trips end, so we can understand what our paratransit ridership is doing as well, and how that is included in our entire service. Thank you. Any further questions?
I just have one. These determine the zone in which those trips travel to.
No, they don't determine the zones. Yeah, so with paratransit, you can travel anywhere within our service area, within 3/4 of a mile of the route. So it's just an indication of, we're picking up from Bessemer, where do we typically take that individual?
All right.
And I also just got a note from Darrell Perkins, Director Smith. He said that, as we know, the current mayor of Trustville was opposed to microtransit, but it looks like they may have a new mayor after next Tuesday. So we'll approach after some time to develop some relationships to see if there's an interest.
All right. Any more questions? Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Any more department reports? None? Any unfinished business? Any new business? If not, planning and development is now adjourned. Now come to order. Roll call.
Yes, sir. Committee Chair Cunningham,
Here.
Director Davis,
Present.
Chair Jones. Committee Chair, you do have a quorum.
Motion to adopt the agenda. Passes unanimously. Motion to approve the meetings of July 24th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. And now we're down to our executive director report.
Chair Cunningham, please go ahead and just take a vote still on those items. You're getting a motion in a second, but just call for the question.
Now for the adoption, all in favor?
Aye.
Adoption approved. For approval of minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
Approved. I want to report from my director.
Right, I did propel to, report on the WBRC Fox interview we had last week regarding some press that we had gotten around, some issues with the workforce, center, with DIA. And if you haven't looked at that already, that is on your SharePoint site as well. Look at that report. It was a good interview. It turned out really well. And I think we got good feedback from that, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. And then also, just the other day, Perkins, myself, and Deputy Walker and Kayla attended the Birmingham Business Alliance Government Affairs Luncheon, where we met personally with Greg Reed, which is the Secretary of the Department of Workforce, who was the featured speaker, and we got an opportunity to talk with him a little bit more about potential additional funding and some workforce development opportunities. So we are continuing our course and continuing our work on the legislation level, where we're looking to build those partnerships and continue some effort with additional funding. So we'll continue that effort as well. And I think that's it for my office.
Now we have a operations update.
Good morning, Board of Directors, Director Shaw, fellow colleagues. My name is Stanley Lacey, and I serve as the Senior Director of Operations, and I'll be reporting out for the month of July. And again, I come to you with positive momentum as the 70-30 plan keep delivering on its promise. On the fixed route side, on on-time performance, we held steady at 66% for the month of July. The BRT system performed at 84%, and when you combine the two system-wide, that's 76%, and that's 4% short of our on-time performance goal. And I wanted to ensure the board members that every day at 9 o'clock operations, we have a meeting and we look at daily trends. We have a daily meeting every day at 9 o'clock to discuss the trends, to discuss if it's operator behavior, if it's the constructions, or anything that's going on with on-time performance. So operations work daily to improve our on-time performance. And I'm more than sure here shortly we should close that 4% gap and reach our goal. As far as missed trips and service reliability, we still are completing 98% of our trips. The staffing on fixed route for July, on fixed route we were 82% staff, paratransit was 92% staff, and microtransit was 89% staff. On the paratransit side, on-time performance, we were 67% on time and 33% late. We completed over 7,300 trips on the paratransit side for the month of July. Microtransit continued to perform at a high level with over 4,000 completed rides for the month of July. 170 of those were airport pickups. We have an 88% trip completion rate. And for the month of July, 546 five-star ratings, which customer satisfaction is driving the service forward on microtransit. In closing, the 70-30 plan is delivering. Fixed route is holding steady with those 4% on-time performance points. Paratransit, we're working to improve our on-time performance. Microtransit is thriving. Missed trips continue to trend low, 98%, and community partnerships is continue to growing. So we are working very hard in operations, and we just see improvements with the 70-30 plan. And at this time, I'll take any questions.
I just want to commend you particularly on the airport transportation, because I was in that this weekend. As large as that parking lot is, there was not one spot available. So whatever we can do to make that connection. And if you park there, you may not find your car. You may not have the issue. And so I want to commend you all on making that a choice. I think it's going to be a great future benefit.
Me too.
I just want to add, Stan, before you leave, board of directors, I just want you to know how an awesome job this young man is delivering. This MARTA brought a team yesterday to meet with Stan and his team on their operation efficiencies and operations of the BRT and the 70-30 plan. And there's about 4 or 5 of them which he directly mentored at MARTA, who came and wanted to give him accolades for his success here in Birmingham. So I just want you all to know we have a great senior director of operations, and he has proven that he's instituted the 9 o'clock meeting every morning with his team. And if you get an opportunity to sit on that call, you will be thoroughly impressed with the kind of information that they go over daily about operations. So when I tell you I think we have the best senior director in operations, we do. And I am so proud of this young man.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Great job to the team. We appreciate it, Mr. Sean.
I do not know how to follow up with that one. However, but good morning, Director Cunningham, Director Shaw, and Board of Directors. I proudly serve as the Senior Director of Maintenance. I would like to also say about the 9 o'clock meeting, Mr. Lacey also includes the maintenance team as well. So we get to share data about the maintenance the service that we provide, and we get to have a discussion about where we can improve or possibly make good trends in information. Now, the last committee meeting, well, let me just back up for a minute. Our fleet performance overall this month was very good. We did have one blip in the radar, and we'll just talk about that. But last committee meeting, we did discuss our preventive maintenance on-time percentage. And for this month of July, we have met our goal of 95% on time. The committee before that, or last month before, in the month of May, we talked about our mean distance between failure, better known as MDBF. Now, all of our fleets performed well, very, very well, above our 5,000 mile goal. Fixed route, however, had a little bit difficulty in the month of July, and I'll explain. We did have a significant amount of buses that had low fuel calls, and it was all related to our CNG station. We did get with our contractor, Clean Energy, and we have resolved the issue. So we anticipate our mean distance between failure for our fixed route service to improve in the month of August. Any questions at this point?
Any questions?
All right, we'll continue to provide great service for the city of Birmingham and continue to implement industry best standards. Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, we have any resolution for consideration. Go down, down to unfinished business. Yeah, unfinished business. New business. We have a motion to adjourn. Second. We can go down. Thank you all for attending the meeting of operations.